What's up, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and this is just the second half of the LSU-Texas A&M game, where we're taking a look at LSU forward Trendon Watford. He had a pretty busy first half, showed a lot of fluidity in his dribble, while also showing some promising defensive plays as well. Still a lot to improve on, especially with his jump shot and decision-making, but I'm excited to see what he has to offer in the second half, so let's get right into it. So the second half is just underway right now. And Watford is starting off playing on the block. And that time he's, again, nice job just kind of just getting length on that pass. Didn't really tip it or anything, but he did go after it a little bit right there. And again, here he is just being that secondary guard, that pressure release in the backcourt during the press. And again, right there you can kind of see not really a whole lot of speed, but just in terms of his dribbling fluidity, I think that's there. Dug it down to Emmett Williams, who almost got the and one. I'll skip this free throw. I think he might have gotten the and one, actually. But again, you see right here, just kind of good job recovering ultimately, but he doesn't really have that lateral quickness to stay in front of quicker guards, and that's where I think it will be a little bit troubling for him in the NBA. You can see he switched off of him right there. Whole lot of stuff going on with this LSU defense right now. A little bit of a risky pass, I would say, but got it off. And here we go. Let's see what he does here. And that's just, you just need to have better feel and touch than that. That's an easy lob play, in my opinion. He just kind of butchered the pass. And there's Charles Manning, who's out for the game. It's a key piece for LSU this past season. He's trying just in the lane. He was guarding the inbounder there. And now he's on the block. Again, a little bit flat-footed defensively. Good deflection right there. Good job getting into the passing lane. And he almost came up with another deflect. I think he got another deflection there. Almost came up with a steal. So that was a pretty good effort after he looked a little bit sloth-like to start the possession. He does have an impact-capable frame on defense. Just a matter of where you really put him. He's another one of those tweeners where is he big enough to guard people in the post? Right there, again, just kind of got caught with the ball in the trap. Good job contesting that, not giving up on the play. But going back to my original point here, he is a little bit of a tweener in that is he quick enough to guard on the perimeter? Is he big enough to guard down low? I usually am not super high on these types of players, but in Watford's case, I think he offers enough offensively in terms of his ceiling that you can take a flyer on him in the second round. I don't have him as a first-round guy in this draft, as I've said earlier, but again, I think there's enough to like with him for him to get to be worthy of a pick. Kind of just hugging the lane. Let's see what he does here. Again, a little bit off balance on that reach in right there. Again, he tried to swipe down at the ball, which I'm not necessarily against that all the time, but I mean, obviously you've seen Mamadi Diakite in previous videos do that where he does that really well. The problem is when Watford did it right there, he was very off balance, and Diakite was always on balance. And so again, there's that discipline, but I do like that they're kind of using him as just a point forward. And this game was kind of crazy with turnovers. I think Skylar Mays had 7 or 8 turnovers individually. Watford had 4. So there were a lot of guys kind of making mistakes out there. It's a pretty sloppy game overall, I would say. But they do trust him to have the ball in his hands. So I do think he is a pretty solid press breaker, if nothing else. Right there, kind of got lost on the box out, and it looks like it's going to be LSU ball regardless. Yeah. See what he does here. Again, he's going to get the trap. Good job not speeding himself up and hitting the right man on the press break. Again, pretty nice ball movement from LSU here. And Watford, I don't know what he's doing right there. Spacing's kind of off. It's kind of a lost possession for LSU, I would say. After a good initial ball movement, Watford kind of killed the movement with his spacing issues. So again, right there, you kind of just see the miscommunication. Like, what is he helping? Is he not helping? Is he just abandoning his man? Things like that. So I think we got a timeout here, and Watford is out. So I will skip ahead to 101-10 when he comes back in. Here we go. Jenny wasn't out for a whole lot of game time here, but was out for like 7 or 8 minutes of YouTube time. So got a turnover. Looks like it's gonna, or not turnover, just a loose ball out of bounds to A&M. Watford's in for maybe one possession here, and then he's back out. Let's see what he does here. He's kind of in the grill. Again, this time he's doing a pretty nice job moving his feet. Cut off the initial blow-by attempt. And now it looks like they're trapped. They're at least in some sort of matchup zone. And falling back into man right now. And again, I do like that Watford's kind of the point of this pressure defense for LSU. I think that shows a lot of trust that the LSU coaches have in him. I'm not really sure if he can maintain that at the NBA level, but I do think that it's encouraging that LSU is kind of putting him in these situations where he's important. He's an important member of this team offensively and defensively. And he has the ball in his hands a lot, and he's around the ball a lot. So I think it shows that LSU thought a lot of him as a freshman. Right there, probably should have finished that a little bit more. Again, not a super explosive athlete, I would say. But he's hurt right here, and he's out for around 5 minutes. So I'll skip ahead to 107-14. Here we go. Yeah, he got poked in the eye or something there, so. And I think from now he's in the entire rest of the game, so. Looks like it's going to be looked like it was going to be a screen, but Watford didn't do anything there. There we got a foul. And here we go. Watford kind of got lost around that screen right there. We got another foul here. I think we're shooting free throws. No, we are not shooting free throws, so I'll just continue this right here. Again, Watford kind of got lost around that screen. Doesn't really have the foot speed to make up for recovering in a lot of those situations. So I do worry about that, as I've mentioned several times throughout this video. Just another example right there. Again, I don't really know where he was going initially on that defense. It looked like he was anticipating the inbounder to go towards the baseline, but he kind of just stuck in the middle of the rim, and Watford was a step late. Nothing really happened, but just things like that. Little things like that really kind of make an impact. Right there, really nice job getting to the line and just carving out space and getting that rebound, and then we'll see him shoot some free throws. Got an injury, so I'll skip this. Got some more. There we go. So here's Trendon. Let's see what he does here. And again, he kind of, that weird free throw routine where he's going to lean back and rock with it. And I'm not a huge, it just looks super busy to me. Usually, yeah, he misses that one. Usually free throw routines are best kept simple whenever guys try to overcomplicate things. There are very rare times where I've seen guys overcomplicate it. Rip Hamilton comes to mind as a good free throw shooter who would do that. But whenever I see like wacky stuff at the line, usually it just strikes me as kind of desperate for solutions. That time he got it to go, but it didn't look very pretty. And here he is just kind of monitoring three-quarter court. Good job recovering right there, actually. He did a really nice job kind of just swinging his hips around and getting back in front of his man on the pressure. Watford kind of shoved. I think that was Emmett Williams out there to guard. A little bit of clunkiness in the lane. Watford does have a tendency to make very risky passes. I've noticed that a few times where his passes nearly get picked off or deflected. And it's just because he telegraphs him a little bit too much. Again, he's pretty solid at making basic reads for passing, but when it comes to advanced reads and kind of looking away and, fooling the defender with your eyes, he's not really there yet. He's more of a what you see. His first option is where he'll most likely go in terms of passing the ball. So I think he needs to work on being a little bit more patient, I would say. And just overall just kind of exploring his options a little bit more and for a little bit longer of a time period. Good box out from Watford right there. And that's going to be a good no call by the refs, actually. And that's just good offense, I guess. Looked a little bit sloppy, but again, Watford, I'm not really sure. He's not really doing a great job keeping tabs with his man through the screen. I'm not sure if that's a game plan for LSU, but he just kind of looks lazy getting around screens and things like that and moving with his man off the ball. And right there, I don't know what that was. He was just not prepared for that pass. Again, he just kind of has lapses of concentration, I would say. And again, he's a freshman, so that's kind of expected. Just happens a little bit too often for my liking, I would say. He also has made a habit of kind of pushing his teammates into better spots defensively. I kind of enjoy that. That's just funny to watch. Got a media timeout right here, so I will skip ahead. And there we go. Doesn't look like anything happened there, so we'll just let it go. Oh, Watford almost had a nice run opportunity, but it got picked off at the last second. I like that he filled the lane there well. Again, just not enough power on that pass for him. Again, that's a nice pass from Watford, but just a very basic read. Another turnover for LSU. They're starting to collapse a little bit right here. I'll skip these free throws. And here we go. So again, Watford inbounding the ball right here. Being used as that pressure release. Let's see if he takes a few dribbles. Maybe he gave it up a little bit too early. Again, right there. Again, I wish he would put it on the floor a little bit more because I do think that's one of the better aspects of his game. And they use him a lot on the perimeter, LSU does. Especially for a guy who doesn't really have a great outside shooting resume. So LSU just kind of stalking. Here's Watford again. Kind of just playing almost a pack line sort of man defense on the ball. Job kind of just sealing off any post touches. Right there, maybe a little bit over aggressive on the help. And again, he just kind of gets lost ball watching because his man was on the block and he was out by the free throw line. I get it. There's a lot of people around. But I'd like to see him be a little bit more disciplined to his man. He tends to just overbite on a lot of passes and dribble moves and things like that. Here's Watford defending in the post. Again, right there, that's a little bit too easy. He kind of got put in jail a little bit. He had that arm bar going, and he doesn't really have the verticality to really contest those types of just back to the basket moves. And again, that's the tweener aspect, and then he almost lost the ball right there. that's a tweener aspect. Again, we've seen it a few times where he's just not really quick enough to stay in front of wings on the perimeter, and he's not necessarily big enough to really be physical down low. So we got a timeout from LSU, it looks like here, so I'll skip this. And here we go. Swap for their weak side. Looks like we got another foul. Neither team in the bonus yet, so I'll probably just ride this out. Looks like we got a trip on Skylar Mays. I think this was Buzz Williams' first year. Yeah, it definitely was. He might build something good at A&M, too. They've had some good teams in the past, obviously, with Daniel House. They had Caruso, obviously. Kyle Fogg was on those teams. Who was their big guy? Tyler Davis. They had Robert Williams, obviously. That team that beat North Carolina in the second round of the 2017 tournament. Looks like we got a timeout here, so I'll skip this. I think they're reviewing it. So here we go. I'll just put it right here. So it looks like LSU's in a zone. Looks like a 1-2-2, maybe a 1-3-1. Watford's tasked with being the guy down low, so he's responsible for any guys on the baseline. And now it looks like they were in a man, got around that screen. That's a tough role for Watford to play, and I don't really put that much stock into it because he's not going to be really playing that in the NBA, just in terms of that zone look that we just saw right there. So I'm not really super worried about that necessarily. I'll skip this because that's a tough role for him to be in. Here's Watford again. Uses it as that pressure release. That could have been a foul. Watford, nice hands. Oh, should have made that layup. Good offensive rebound. Way to stick with it. Good play from Watford. Should have put in the first one, but overall, I do like the hustle and the stick-to-itiveness that he displayed right there, and he ultimately got the points to reward himself. Here we go again, Watford. Looks like LSU's in a 2-3 now, or some sort of zone-ish defense. Watford, nice job hitting that tag man on the roll. Not even on the roll, but on the drive, and then the weak side option. Watford, I don't know what happened there. That was strange. Yeah, I don't think there's really an excuse for that. Skip ahead here. Again, they're pretty quick coming out of these media timeouts. I guess Texas A&M just hit another 3. But again, so now they're up 3. A&M's having a great day from behind the arc. They're shooting nearly 50%. A lot of things going wrong for LSU right now. Let's see if they can. They obviously do win this game, but again, another turnover for LSU. And I mean, Watford was the highest defender, so he needs to take ball right there. He got lucky with that missed shot, and the rebound ultimately fell to him. But he just needs to at least give a slight contest there, or at least act like he's running towards that shot. I get that he has to basically guard 2 defenders since Skylar Mays put himself out of the play, but just show a little bit of a contest right there. I think that would have served him well. So Watford's going to be on the perimeter again. Let's see what he does. Again, his back looks pretty hunched over defensively right there. I'm not really sure what that jump was. Kind of was all turned around in terms of his relation to ball man. And so again, this second half, I think he's kind of struggled defensively just from a feel for the game standpoint. Again, looks a little bit tired as well. Got a turnover on LSU. And yeah. Looks like Emmett Williams lost his shoe. So yeah, LSU has 15 turnovers in this game, so it's kind of ridiculous. This game has been extremely sloppy. Again, this is one of those examples of just wasteland SEC basketball that I just cannot stand to watch. It's just one of those it's just these lower tier SEC teams. Not that LSU was a bad team this year, but they're playing like one tonight, and it's just unbelievably. It's just slow moving. There's a stop every play, a lot of turnovers, very sloppy overall. The game feels like an hour, and it just feels like it never ends. So Watford in help right now. Good job digging down and just helping in the post. A&M's going to score there anyway, and a foul. I'm not really sure about that. But I don't really mind that play from Watford, and we'll skip these free throws. Good up fake from Skylar Mays. So again, Watford kind of trying to flash into high post. It's been pretty quiet in terms of his offense this half, I will say. Here he is guarding on the perimeter. On ball again. Again, just seems a little bit slow to react at times. Looks like he's going to get a ball screen here. Good job from that Texas A&M defender kind of denying that. Ooh, Watford, good job flashing. Whoa, Skylar Mays, deep three. Yeah, no, not today. Got a foul, and A&M's in the bonus, so they're going to be shooting free throws. We'll skip these. So Watford's played more on the post in these last few minutes. Let's see what he does here. Good job using that pump fake to kind of just get by his man. Ultimately led to an open Skylar Mays jump shot. I really do think, though, that he's pretty smooth on the perimeter for being someone his size and for being pretty rough around the edges in a lot of other areas. So that's kind of an anomaly, I'll say. So it's kind of interesting to watch him work. Let's see what he does post defense right here. Again, right there, that's way too easy. First of all, allowing that post touch and then just kind of get the right idea, trying to force him towards the baseline, but he just gave up that too good of an angle. And again, didn't really have the strength or the verticality to really contest that. Easy bucket for A&M. We got a media timeout right here, so I will skip ahead. And looks like Watford's going to be inbounding. Watford looked like he was fighting for that rebound. Looks like we got LSU ball. Yep. Again, not really looking to post up. Kind of just wandering aimlessly a little bit offensively, I will say. Man, a good three-point jump shot for Watford would really just open his entire game up. I think that really enhances his ceiling. The more I watch him, the more I think he should return to LSU and just solely work on that three-point shot in the offseason. Get that to a consistent level. I think he has a chance at being a first-round pick. because I don't really think he's going to be a huge difference maker defensively. And so I really think in order to solidify his NBA status, I think he's really going to need to get a knockdown 3-point jump shot. So that's all I would be working on if I'm him. You got another and one for A&M, so. Got a blocking foul. Skylar Mays will be shooting free throws here. Watford's done that thing twice where he just kind of stands over the ball and just kind of lets his defense kind of set up. I do think that's kind of a smart, heady play, even if it's a little bit cheapy or dirty, but it's kind of funny to watch. Again, look at his defense right now. Look at how he's just leaning into his man. I don't really like that. That's lazy, and it just looks like you're doing a lot more than you actually are. I don't know. It just puts him in such a bad spot when he needs to recover. And so just the defensive discipline, I think, has really reared its ugly head in this game. The lack of it, I should say. Especially in the second half. And he's trying to sneak over. I don't mind that shot, even though it was a pretty bad miss. Looked like he rushed in and was a little bit off to the side. But I think that's a good shot within the flow of the offense. There's Skylar Mays. He missed it too. Got a foul on A&M. I think they got him from behind, so we'll skip these free throws here. So LSU's in this press again with Watford at the point of it. Got another foul. So we'll shoot these free throws. So Watford on the perimeter. See if LSU hits this. They will. I'm pretty sure the game goes to overtime tied at 79, so I'm not really sure what happens. Nothing will probably happen in the next. See if Skylar Mays hits this. Nope. He's been short on a lot of threes. Javonte Smart got a tie ball game with 1:13 left. This is big time. I'm pretty sure this game was tied. We got a timeout here, so I'll skip ahead. Pretty sure this game is tied at 79, so it should be a pretty boring final 68 seconds here. Again, no need to foul if you're LSU. To really only be 2 possessions. We got out of bounds again, and it's going to be A&M ball. They'll most likely, I can't imagine they wouldn't review this, but it doesn't look like they're going to. So yeah, we'll let it play out. And Watford, again, right there, you cannot go under that screen. I'm sorry, it's a tie game, under a minute left. You just can't go under that. I don't care if he's a non-shooter, but when there's really no one there to help him out on that screen, you need to go over that screen. You need to find a way. Ooh. A&M got very lucky there. That could have been a foul, in my opinion. Oh, he flopped. Never mind. So again, LSU is still in this pressure. Ooh, it's a nice little move. Wow. This game is just the epitome of just bad basketball. This is what I like to call plague basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Final 10 seconds here. Obviously, nothing happens. This game does go into overtime, but Skylar Mays. Oh, Watford's going to get it. And, yeah, nothing Watford could do there. That was just a last-second dump off from Mays. So I'll pause the video here. And, obviously, we got overtime again. So I'll see you for the third video, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.